We are live. Good morning. Welcome to another wellness weekend. And for this weekend, I am with Dr. Candy Drilon-Dalman. Good morning,
Hello.
Candy. How are
Good
you
morning,
today?
everyone. I'm good. I'm good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. I love your getup. Like I love that you're
Thank
ready to
you.
go out and get some sun.
Obvious ba kung saan ako pupunta pagkatapos nito?
Ganda na ng kulay mo. Like in the span of when you started going, like doing golf and getting out. Like
Yeah.
there's such
Yeah.
a
If you look
huge
at my photos January, diba? If you look at my
exactly.
January photos, iba na yung kulay ko.
Actually, nakakaingit. Like pang summer ka na. I'm still stuck in like December. I need to go out and get sun, honestly. So Doc, so for this episode, I love this because it's super interesting. We've kind of gone through like our functional medicine basics over the past 7 weeks. We talked about
Yep.
the different systems. I personally had so many aha moments talking to the
Good.
different doctors. So I think you know with this episode and us bringing it all together for people to get a really good idea of what it is that you guys do at Centro Holistico. I think we need to start with a refresher. So, Doc, basically, what
Okay.
is functional medicine and how does it differ from the medicine that is done in like the big hospitals?
Okay. I think usually when people ask me, what do you do? Because it's in my title eh. Like I always put functional and integrative medicine. And they always ask, like integrative medicine, medyo gets na nila what it is. Like it's an integration of East and West.
Yeah.
But with functional medicine, I always tell them, the basic our basic goal is to bring back the normal function of the human body.
Mm.
So, because when everything is functioning properly, down to the cellular level, there should be no disease. Okay, so like a lot of the diseases naman, like actually all of it,
Mhm.
it's really because there is a dysfunction in one aspect of the body or another. Like for example, if you have diabetes in traditional medicine and conventional medicine, it's well, of course, your blood sugar is too high. There's insulin resistance. So down to the cellular level, what's happening?
Mhm.
Is there is Are you taking in too much sugar, or your cells are not responding to the intake, or kulang ba ng insulin, beta cells not producing your insulin, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there, it's bringing back the basic function of the human body by looking at one, your lifestyle. Are there certain things in your lifestyle that is not conducive to what you have or your current condition? Are you not eating for your health? Are you eating, well, like most of us I think are? Are you eating because you for pleasure,
Yeah.
diba? Are you not exercising? Are you not sleeping well? Because a lot of my patients actually, who you'd be so surprised, like at least 70% do not have good sleep, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's really a lot. um if we, like, in a day we see, let's say, well, before this whole pandemic, we would see, let's say, 35 to 40 patients a day in the clinic. At least 70% of them are having sleep issues. And
Wow.
what's the consequence? Yeah, you get a lot of hormonal imbalances. You're not able to recover well. You'll get a lot of biochemical issues. So yeah, so that's one thing that it actually, not sleeping well will create a whole havoc of whatever in your
Mhm.
body. And then, of course, we also look at the history of a patient, what has been happening for the past few years, what led you to the state. Because with any chronic disease, with any illness, you actually, there's a history behind it. There's a long history of eating this, not doing that,
Mm.
exposure to this, exposure to that. So that's what we look at.
Mhm.
We always connect it with your genetics as well. If you are genetically prone to certain diseases, of course, you will get it if and when you are exposed to certain conditions.
Yeah.
So we and then of course also we also look at how your of course we go through the different systems that you was discussed by our doctors.
Mhm.
So we look at the gut, we look at the mitochondria, we look at the detoxification system,
Mhm.
we look at all these we look at your hormones, all these other things, and which system is actually not functioning or functioning
Mhm.
well, and then we connect everything. So
Got it.
yeah, that's fun. It's a mouthful. Actually, it's so
Yeah.
hard to explain minsan like what it is. So yeah, parang in a nutshell, sinasabi namin minsan, okay, it's wellness taken na may scientific basis. Parang
Yeah.
ganon.
Yeah, like my friends who ask, I just keep telling them, well, I think you need to book a consult. Go book a holistic wellness consultation at Centro
Yeah.
because I think it's something that you need to experience, especially like
Mm-mm.
for people like for example, like for people like me who had only known about conventional doctors. So in my head, it's like I am going to family doc, for example, pag may nararamdaman lang
Yeah.
ako, like, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me to go see a doctor
Mhm.
if I'm feeling well. Alam mo yun? Okay naman
Yeah.
ako, so I don't see why I should go.
Yeah.
But I think like my experience at Centro and experiencing a consult with a functional medicine practitioner kind of it
Mm.
was a huge 180 for me in a sense na
Yeah.
like, wala naman ako nararamdaman talaga. Like, wala naman akong sakit-sakit. Pero it's just really interesting to know how much my lifestyle could possibly affect or create a disease,
Yeah.
in the possible future.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was it. And I think going in, one of my, I guess, myths about functional medicine is that you guys are just so obsessed with the gut because, like, for some reason,
We
all
are.
roads all roads lead to
Lead to
the
the
gut.
gut. Yeah. Actually, we are na ba? We kind of are. Kasi, kaya nga nagtataka minsan, like, my friends who aren't really my patients, but they kind
Uh-huh.
of ask me some things about, oh, what's happening here? But ganito to, ganito. So parang I always ask, how do you poop? How's your poop? Do
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
bloated? Talaga lahat. Parang they find me weird. So, I go,
Uh-uh.
ganun talaga. But like, we are so obsessed with the gut because a lot of things start with the gut.
Hmm.
Definitely. Kaya I think when you go through a functional medicine course, like with most of the doctors, we did the course in institutional functional medicine in the US.
Yeah.
We are first taught after the basic, we're first taught the gut.
Mm.
That's the number one because it's the foundation of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, we like as human beings, we have to eat
Yes.
daily, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yun. So parang kung ano ba yung araw-araw na ginagawa mo? You eat, you drink, you sleep,
Mm-hmm.
well, ideally, you move.
Mm-hmm.
A good bulk of that, the eating and the drinking part, or
Yeah.
taking your supplements, goes through the gut.
Yeah.
So, what is the main purpose ba of you eating and drinking all of these things? It's really to nourish your body. So if your
Mm-hmm.
body, so when we get a patient who is not nourished or doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look like he's taking anything in or is taking something in but my malnourishment in the body, we automatically think what's happening with the gut? Is
Mm.
the patient absorbing it? Is
Yeah.
the patient actually assimilating and using the nutrients in the gut? Is the patient eating properly?
Yeah.
Is the basically is the system working for for that person? And that it starts the whole conversation. And then
Mm.
dun na natin makikita, is there like, because of this, because of the malnutrition, is he developing mitochondrial issues? Is he developing detoxification issues? Is he developing hormonal
Mm.
issues? And then that's
Yeah.
where everything is connected. I think Doc Sasa was able to explain a lot of it. It's
Yeah.
really connected to each and every part. That's why we're obsessed with the gut.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what one of the treatments talaga in the clinic that we are so obsessed also about is the colon cleanse because
Yes.
talag parang we recommend it like practically to everyone, like not just
Yeah.
for those who are constipated, anyone who has gut issues and
Yeah.
detoxification issues. Because yun, favorite namin yan.
Actually, like when I first did the colon cleanse, like I keep telling people, yeah, it's an experience. Like I don't know how to quite
It is.
explain it. So you just need to
Explain
go and you
it.
need to experience it for yourself. And like I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't get it when you told me na actually yung iba na-addict dyan eh. And I'm like, how? But then like when I did my colon cleanse again, I was like, okay, I get it na. I get it na.
Mhm.
It's like just
Nagigets mo
that
na kung bakit siya
feeling.
nakaka-house.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like that feeling of, oh my gosh, super success. I'm good enough for the rest of the week. And I'm excited to do it again for the next week. And I think also just seeing the results, I think that's why people get so
Mm,
obsessed with it as well, is because at least for me, like I can really see results in terms of I'm not as bloated anymore. I don't feel as heavy.
mm,
And,
yeah.
like coming from me when I started going with you guys, I was super constipated, and I was kind of
Mhm.
like, this is it. This is all I can do, and then going through the colon cleanse and then realizing, kaya pala. And then I think
Ta-da!
also,
Yeah.
diba? And I think the education also of like why that stuff needs to come out is
Mhm.
so important. So, Doc, can you just explain a little bit of why a colon cleanse is beneficial for people to do?
Okay. Number one, we gotta poop daily. Okay,
Mm,
and we gotta poop daily because those are the things that you're actually supposed to get out of your system.
mm,
It's the waste. It's basically waste product. So if you're not able to poop properly, remember our gut has it's not like a one-way street. You can actually reabsorb some of the things from your gut. Now, especially those who have leaky gut or like those I'm sure I explained it before. The leaky gut is when you get like gaps in between the cells in
mm,
your gastrointestinal system, so you can actually reabsorb a bunch of things that you're not supposed to reabsorb. So if you're not pooping properly, for example, you're constipated, you only go like oh my gosh, there are patients who go like once or twice a week. Hindi ko matake.
yeah.
Talagang it gets stuck
Honestly,
there, it
that
gets
was
backed
me
up. So
once
there
upon a
is
time.
that was you, yeah.
That was
Naloka
me
ako when
once
you told
upon
me
a
about
time.
it. So that's what you have to really get it out. And sometimes you just need a little push kasi minsan nagiging lazy yung colon natin. If you're so used to
Mm,
that, to not pooping regularly. So like ako
yeah.
personally, when after I gave birth, because hormones really just not really messed up. It kind of altered my gut flora, and that I wasn't able to poop on a regular basis after I gave birth.
Mm,
So I made it a point to do an enema. Like I do a home enema because I wasn't going to the clinic yet. So I would do like
mhm,
a coffee enema at home, like every other day if I couldn't really go. And
mhm,
one of the benefits as well of the doing a colon cleanse, or we use coffee by the way in the clinic to for the cleanse, is really when you absorb the caffeine through the rectal vessels, it stimulates the liver to produce more glutathione. So when you
ah,
produce more glutathione, yeah, you actually have more antioxidants to help counteract the free radicals or the inflammation that's happening in your body. So it's not just all about the colon. It's also
yeah.
it's detoxification. Even with you improve the detoxification by your liver as well.
Interesting. And the whole colon cleanse as well can get rid of toxins that have been kind of stuck there for like months and even
Yeah,
years.
yeah. It helps. It kind of helps to remove because when we use some because
Yeah.
we use water lang like water enemas at home, it helps
Hmm.
with just removing the yung bulk yung stuck done. But with the
Yeah.
coffee, I think of it as like an astringent for your colon.
Mm.
It can actually remove mas natatanggal yung mga nasa stuck sa walls ng colon, especially for
Yeah.
those who eat a lot of animal protein. They don't eat a
Mm.
lot of fiber. Diba? The stool is very sticky. So, yun
Yeah.
yung hindi natatanggal. So, you want to remove that as well.
Got it. So in terms of the gastrointestinal, that really is that cleaning out your colon, hopefully on a regular
Mhm.
basis, can just help things be a lot more, yeah, just kind of just move a lot better. And hopefully
Yeah.
with that, it also kind of affects the other systems as well, right? So it's
Mhm.
interesting how we kind of got into, yes, how our gastrointestinal can actually affect our immune system, can affect
Everything.
the
Yes.
cardiometabolic.
Everything.
So like just tweaking that one little thing, which is our gut, for me that
Mhm.
was pretty amazing. And like, I've been a patient of yours for 2 years na ba? A year and a
Uh-uh.
half
Like before the pandemic.
pre-pandemic. And it's interesting for me because I get to experience it, yeah, like from a patient's point of view and coming in with
Mhm.
zero idea of what this is. And I remember going through my functional medicine. What is it that we kind of like, what we fill out?
Oh, that's
And
the medical symptom questionnaire. Actually, you didn't go through pa nga the 18-page questionnaire, if I remember correctly.
yes,
Because
I didn't do
before
that.
you didn't do that. Because before we get the patients in the clinic, we actually ask them to this is for the functional medicine consultation, because we have two types of consults in the clinic. So one is the holistic consult. So it's like a general consultation. We go through lifestyle, etc. But for
Yeah.
those patients who have more complicated cases that we think needs a deeper analysis, we
Mhm.
go through the functional medicine consult. So beforehand, we send you an 18-page questionnaire. Um, it has so many details.
Yeah.
And then we basically get to know you on a much deeper level,
Yeah.
down to when you were born, were you breastfed, when your mother was pregnant with you, were you was she taking supplements, or was there any other medication she took, family history, down to the nth like generation, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have there's a food journal as well. And then yun yung sinasabi mo isa is the medical symptom questionnaire, where
Mhm.
we list down a bunch of symptoms, and
Mhm.
then you rate it from 0 to
Yeah.
5. And then if you usually 0 to 4, tama ba? Oh, parang 0 to 4. So 0 if you don't experience it, and 4 if you experience it daily on a regular basis, and if the effects are really bad for you.
Mm-mm.
So yun yung sa'yo. I remember your score was
Yeah.
quite high.
Yes, that's where I started. And I was like, I remember filling it
Yeah.
out. And I was like, I was ready in my head for, like
Mhm.
listing down like my family's like medical history. And I was ready. Like I
Mhm.
all had that all in my head. And then when I saw the questionnaire, I was like, this isn't what I expected. I didn't expect to like rate myself in terms of like my stress levels, the amount
Yeah.
of like sleep that I was getting, how often
Mhm.
I would get migraines and stuff like that. And I just found that to be just really interesting. And I was kind of thinking to myself, I wonder where this questionnaire is going.
Yeah. Yeah, a
Right?
lot of the patients actually go through that, na parang, "Wait lang, symptom pala 'to, yung makating tenga, symptom pala 'to,
Yeah.
I'm tearing up." 'Di ba? Parang yung
Yeah.
itong migraines na madalas parang hindi pala normal. Sabi ko parang, "Oo guys, hindi po siya normal." Pero any
Yeah.
symptom that is excessive, that
Mhm.
you experience on a daily basis, or like chronically, like for years,
Yeah.
weekly, maybe monthly, it's not normal. It's not
Yeah.
normal to feel pain. It's not normal to keep on tearing up, or to have like perpetually itchy ears. It's not
Yeah.
normal. So
I
yeah,
think
we
even like
always have to stick
passing
to the
passing
patients.
gas
Yeah.
a lot then, right? Like passing
Yes,
gas a lot
yes.
isn't
Oo.
normal. Like
It's
a lot of
not.
people
It's
are just
actually
like, it's part of life. It's not pala.
It's not. It's not. It's passing gas, yes. Parang, but not naman excessive. May iba kasi na parang mayat-maya nagpapass ng gas, or whatever they eat, they feel like they're so bloated, or the food does
Yeah.
not digest or does not go down. So that's not
Mhm.
normal. So
Yeah.
mga little things like that, we actually have to take into consideration. And when you look at it, once you total the score, like there's a rating system kasi.
Yeah.
If the score is very high, it means that the patient is toxic. or there's a lot of toxicities or inflammation going on in the body. So
Mm.
you really have to address it. And when we start going through the consultation, ang dami ng lalabas. Now,
Yeah.
what happened here? What happened there? What are you eating, etc. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's that
And
questionnaire can open up a lot of things.
and I think as well, like I was surprised at the amount of questions, and I don't consider this a bad thing, but also like kind of like almost like the invasiveness of the questions, like how often do you poop? What color is it? What does it look like? I remember thinking to myself, I
Does
don't
it
think my
float?
doctor
Does
would
it like that?
like my doctor would never ask me this like in the clinic or ano, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, why am I oversharing? Parang feeling ko TMI, but I guess with you guys, like TMI is a good thing.
It's a good thing, yes.
It's a good
That's why our
thing.
consults, even the holistic medical consultation,
Mm.
for the holistic medical consultation, at least in 45 minutes. Walang less than that because with
Yeah,
the holistic consultation, we also do the live blood analysis. So the live blood analysis basically can tell us if the nutritional state of your body,
mm,
if you're too acidic, or if you're alkaline, or if you're taking in too much carbs or something like that. So it can tell
yeah,
us a lot of things.
yeah.
And so usually 45 minutes to an hour yan. Minsan nga nabibitin pa. Pag sasabi ko sa
Yeah.
doctors ko, guys, pag bitin ng 1 hour sa holistic consult, hindi na po holistic consult yan. Kailangan ng functional consult kasi ang daming issues. Ang daming
Correct.
issues in life. So
And I think
so with
and
the
I think like
functional consult, sorry, go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
No, please go ahead with the functional medicine consult. You
Okay.
were saying.
With a functional consult, we usually allot at least 2 hours minimum for per patient.
Wow.
Kasi ang dami talaga. Because imagine we go through, so aside from the history taking na free flowing, we also go through the 18-page questionnaire. Because when we
Mm,
start going through the questionnaire, we start thinking of a lot of things and we start asking even more questions. So
mm.
that's mahaba talaga as compared to like a conventional medicine consult. Usually, diba, like
Like 5 minutes.
with like 5 minutes done. Because usually naman it's when you go to your conventional doctor, if there's you go there, you have a symptom eh. So
Mm,
we usually give I still do sometimes as a conventional consult eh.
yeah,
We give something that will alleviate the symptom.
yeah,
So that is important because once you have a symptom also, it can be very stressful to the body.
correct.
So we try to alleviate, like for example, if your sugar is high and hindi na na-address ng banaba at ng ampalaya at ng malunggay na binibigay namin dati,
Yeah.
we really have to give you a medication, may it be metformin or whatever other type of medication.
Mm,
Same goes with kumbaga, I think the good thing about our practice is we're all still medical doctors to
yes.
begin with. So if we kind of know when which tool to use. So for example, if we see a patient that's really grabe na, like the blood
Mm,
sugar is really bad, the hypertension is really bad, it's not being controlled, we
mm,
really give medications initially and then we work with them to shift
yeah,
to a healthier lifestyle so that they'll be able to eventually lessen the meds or eventually
yeah,
really take them out. Like nothing is irreversible nowadays except of course for certain congenital issues.
yeah,
But for the most part, for lifestyle diseases, it can be reversed with a lot of work, with a lot of
mm,
changes in the
yeah.
body.
And I think I can attest to that. When I started off with you, I had a lot of like chronic diseases,
Hi,
right?
hi.
I started off so like for me, whenever I tell friends, I'm like, dude, I am like the perfect example. Like feeling I had like everything. Like there was something wrong in like bits and pieces. I looked okay, like I was functioning, but
Yeah.
like taking a closer look, like there were things that was just not working for me and just was not happy. And I think one of the best
Mm-hmm.
visuals that I got from you really was the live blood analysis. It was that it was getting that drop of blood, looking at it under a microscope and just getting the visual of what was happening inside my body. And I remember like the first time you did it, I was just so shocked because I was expecting to see.
Naloka ka.
I was expecting to see like this pink, like what the sample of blood would look like. It's pink, may
Yeah.
bilog-bilog dyan. But what I got was like yellow. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? And you were like, that's your blood.
Anemic.
Super, super anemic. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not realize it was that bad
Yeah.
until,
Yeah.
and I
And I
think
think,
like
yeah, you saw
that, that's like,
it.
that's like a wake up. That's like a wake up moment. And
Yeah.
like you were kind of explaining like what the bits and pieces were, like, like
Mhm.
this is a toxin that's like floating in your
Yeah.
bloodstream, etc.
Yeah.
And for me, like if that doesn't wake you up, like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know
I
what
think
else to do.
yeah, with the live blood kasi, it's like it's a qualitative test for us because not
Mm,
a lot of our patients can do the functional diagnostics that ideally
yeah.
we prescribe, but not a lot.
Mhm.
They're very expensive. And
Yes.
understandably so, because it tells you a lot of things. It
Yeah.
actually, the labs are not based here. It gets sent
Mhm.
like wherever else part of the world.
Yeah.
So the live blood can give us like a snap um like a picture of what's going on inside. It's not
Mm,
gonna tell us like the details, like how much vitamin D is kulang, or how much
mhm.
vitamin A do I need. It's not,
Yeah.
but it kind of correlates to what our to our consultation. So for example, you
Yeah.
tell us, I'm eating this, I'm eating a lot of things, ganyan ganyan. I'm not stressed, and then I look at your blood, it's pangit.
Yeah.
And then parang laging tanong yan, eh, parang, Dok, bakit ganon? And then
Yeah.
we start going deeper
Mm-mm.
pa. Like,
Mm.
okay, do you feel this? Kasi sa una kasi, ang daming pasyente ganito ha. Dok, I don't feel anything naman. I don't feel ganyan, blah, blah, blah. I'm okay. I eat well. I eat ganyan. A lot of people think that they're very healthy. Pero so, laging question namin is, what triggered you to come here if you
Yeah.
are that healthy?
Mm-mm.
And then
Yeah.
eventually, when we show them the blood, bigla na lang, ay, actually, Doc, ganito, ganito, ganito.
Yan na
Parang,
nga.
ay, huli ka. So,
I
it's usually, syempre, it's, di ba, self-preservation eh. People will
correct.
tell you, like, I don't feel anything, ganyan, ganyan. And then biglang, huli ka. Ganyan.
Yeah, no, I think also then, like, it's just then that lack of awareness. Like, for me, for example, like, I've been living
Yes.
a certain way for so many years that it's just my normal.
Yeah.
I had to come to you to realize, okay, so it's not normal pala. It's not normal
Yeah.
pala for me to be feeling this way. Parang tinanggap ko na
Yeah.
lang na this is my life now.
Na parang eating a lot hummus every day is normal. Parang,
That is
dude.
exactly.
No.
All I eat is hummus. It's normal. It's okay. I'm still surviving. So for me, like that was a huge wake up moment. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
just taking a better look at what was going on. And I think that also unearthed a lot of things for me. And then you put me on a health protocol. Could you kind of explain how you come up with that for patients?
Okay. So when once we go through your consultation, we basically get a feel of what you guys need. So for example, it's like I made a protocol for you because
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're not able to eat a variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's basically your, well, like me naman, I don't food prep for, my gosh, I cannot.
Uh-uh.
I so usually I eat what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Same.
So whenever we come up with a program, we tailor fit it to what to your current situation. So let's say
Mm,
for you, limited yung you don't go out a lot. And right now, like a lot of people don't go out a lot.
yeah.
You don't do a lot of meal prep. So but you like to juice, you
Yeah.
like to do smoothies, you can do simple stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm gonna recommend for you. Like I recommended like juices or smoothies,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
to make sure that you get your nutrients and you get your gulay in and your fruits, and
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of other simple things that you can do at home.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell me, for example, I have a chef, okay,
Mm-hmm.
oh eto, pabili mo lahat.
Yeah.
I'll give you down to the menu. Papadala ko ng menu sa'yo. Lutuin mo yan lahat. So, ganon. So, and then, the diet, actually, the different diets, I think Doc Sasa was able also to discuss it, and the other
Mm-hmm.
doctors. There are certain diets that are actually good for certain conditions. Like for example, if you have a mitochondrial disorder or mitochondrial issue,
Mm-hmm.
bouts of ketogenic diet is actually really good to help boost up your cells again. But we, of course, with any diet, with any restrictive diet, magkakaroon kasi ng nutritional deficits, when it comes to, when we start, like for example with the keto, kasi we have to have like a higher amount of fat,
Mm-hmm.
moderate protein, and then very very low carbs. So there's a bunch of fruits and vegetables that you won't be able to eat on a daily basis. So with that, for example, we prescribe you a keto diet, we're gonna give you something to supplement the nutrients that you're not able to eat,
Mm-hmm.
you're not able to take in. Things like that. And then, but in terms of supplements, we actually it also depends on the consultation. Like, there's no
Yeah.
one perfect supplement for everyone.
Yeah.
No matter, lagi may nagtatanong sa akin minsan, what supplement can I take for, let's say, nahihilo ako, ganyan,
Yeah.
ganyan. Parang, depende kasi kung, and what's causing your hilo in the first place. So
Yeah.
is it a vitamin deficiency? Is it because you're not sleeping or matulog
Mm-hmm.
ka? So,
Yeah.
mga ganon. So, the whole program will depend on how you live your life, what is your current reality,
Mm-hmm.
and the ideal, and we try to merge it.
Yeah.
Kasi we can't tell naman a patient to go jogging 30 minutes every day kung wala namang way to jog, 'di
Yeah.
ba? Or walang
Mm-hmm.
way to swim, mga ganyan.
Yeah.
So we can try to make it more real for the patients to
Mm-mm.
execute these programs.
Yeah. And I think what I really appreciated then about the health protocols, just going into it and just the program that I was given is like it wasn't like medication heavy. It wasn't, it was
Mhm.
really a lifestyle change. um
Yeah.
and like I remember thinking like this isn't something that I would usually get, like if I go to the doctors. Like this isn't what I'd get on the script.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
We have
like,
to,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we gotta remember that a bunch of the things that we get, the lifestyle diseases that we have, was brought about by, number one, our lifestyles, and
Mm,
it's the lifestyle that we've been living for how many years. Like, the thing with us, when we were younger, we'd think that I'm healthy, I can eat this, I can eat that. um but it's really a wake up call once
mm,
you see your doctor, your lifestyle doctor,
mm-mm.
and then you realize na, hala, ayan na, ito pala nag-cause nito, ito ang nag-cause
Yes.
niyan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really just have to make sure na kumbaga, yeah, I think that's a good term. It's a wake up call. It's you get to see, parang here's your mirror. This is what's
Mm,
happening to you. And that's
yeah.
really our role. That's
Yeah.
really our role, is to put up that mirror.
Yeah.
Eto po yun, and break down everything. What
Yes.
is happening? Eto yon.
Mm-mm. And I think what I like about it as well is it's really like there is no getting around it, or there is no hiding from the issue, right? It's not like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, oh, I can't sleep. Pero, oh no, my doctor gave me melatonin. So okay na yan. I'm not going to address the deeper issue of why I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So with that, it's really, well, I really have to figure out, like, this is what's causing it. I need to fix it. There
Mm-hmm.
is no band-aid solution that's going to last that long. We have a question
Mm-hmm.
here from Ariel. He says, good morning. I'm here because Rabia shared your live video. Just
Hi,
wanted
Rab!
I just want to ask if it's okay to sleep madaling araw na and wake up at around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Like, I've been doing this since the pandemic started. My body clock's already distorted. I'd appreciate your response.
Okay. Yeah, I think we discussed this before. Also, I discussed this with all of my patients kasi ang dami ngayon na madaling araw na natutulog.
Yeah.
Okay, ideally, you sleep at a certain time. I always advise my patients to be asleep or at least be in bed by 10 or 11.
Mhm.
In the evening, Okay, and at least be asleep until mga 3 a.m. Why is that? It's because in these times that your body's releasing some hormones that is helping it to recover
Mm-hmm.
from the day. In Chinese medicine also, this is itong hours na to, these are the times that some of the organs in your body are more active, and those are the
Mm-hmm.
organs that are actually for repair, recovery, rejuvenation. Those are the yin organs. Basically, they help nourish the body. So if you're not asleep in those times, for example, you sleep at 3 a.m. And you wake up at, let's say, 1 p.m., you miss the times that you're supposed to be resting and recovering. So that's why of course you were not able to recover or feel as good as your body would want. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
living in the Philippines, you're following a certain circadian rhythm, and this circadian rhythm also dictates the up and down of your hormones throughout the day. Like in
Mm-hmm.
and if you've heard of cortisol, I'm sure like a lot of people have heard of cortisol. It's the stress hormone. Now,
Yeah.
cortisol actually peaks in the morning around between 6 a.m. to 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it slowly goes down throughout the day. So if you'll notice, but if nakababa na yung cortisol mo, for example, you wake up, even if you sleep, let's say at 3 a.m. and then you wake up at 12, when you wake up
Mm-hmm.
at 12, kahit na hindi ka nakainom the night before, you don't feel as rested
Yeah.
because, or you do feel like you want to go back to sleep
Mm.
because your cortisol level is down. Bagsak na siya. The cortisol is supposed to wake you up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll try to so when of course when you have that type of lifestyle na yung late nagigising but late natutulog, the rest of your hormones will also start shifting, and you will develop some sort of hormonal imbalance in the end. So
Mm.
what I advise for these patients is, since right now a lot of people I think are still working from home, so their
Yeah.
daily grind, their daily routine medyo na disrupt. So
Yeah.
I really advise to try to switch to an earlier sleeping time. You can start first, for example, hindi ka talaga inaantok, try taking a supplement first that can help you sleep. So that
Mm.
can be melatonin. There's actually some sleep aids na nakakatulong. It's a kind of a mixture of different types of herbs plus
Mm.
melatonin, etc. You take it in the evening so that antohin ka na. And then you take it for a few days until and then you can kind of lessen the dose after a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
see if your sleep is gonna follow it na. And then eventually it will naman eh. It
Yeah.
will really take you need a lot of willpower when it comes to that. So yeah, ideally you really sleep in the evening. Start lying down. Of course you have to um lessen the light na pagdating ng mga 9 o'clock, lessen the screen exposure.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, be in your bed, be in your room, close all the blinds, shut down everything because
Mm.
light inhibits melatonin.
Mm.
So, so if you keep on looking at your phone in the evening, even if naka blue light filter ka na, it's
Yeah.
still gonna inhibit your melatonin, mababawasan yung antok mo. So,
Mm.
yun. So, those are some tips that you can do para mag-improve ang sleep.
Yeah. Hope that helps, Ariel. But yeah, that this I think this whole pandemic just kind of threw everybody's health into a tailspin, right? Parang
Yes,
na-disrupt
agree.
na-disrupt yung routine natin. We were all so
Mhm.
stressed. It's happening again. This coming Monday is like our anniversary, pero like we're back to we're back to curfew hours again, which is
Yeah.
so disappointing, and it's stressing a lot of people out. And I think for last year, the immune, talking about the immune system and how to strengthen that immune system was a huge topic for us.
Yeah.
So, and I and so like from a functional medicine point of view, how can we like strengthen our immune system, and how is the gut connected to that? Because I know it is. It's just the
Yeah.
how.
Okay. With the immune system, like any other systems in the body, like any other let's see, biochemical processes in the body, it requires a
Mm,
lot of nutrients to function. So we all have our bodies are wonderfully made to have that immune system. So we have to
Mm.
support it. Now, what are when I say that you need a lot of nutrients for it to function, you need a lot of nutrients for think of it nutrients as the drivers. So you have a
Okay.
car, it's not gonna work without a driver. Okay,
Yeah.
kahit automatic kotse pa yan, ano ba yung sa States, yung self-driving driver, there's a mechanism
Yeah.
behind it on why it's
Uh-uh.
driving by itself. So you
Mm.
need that driver. And those drivers are actually your cofactors, and which are your micronutrients. So
Mm.
if you're, for example, like me personally, I got COVID no back a few months ago, like back in August.
Mm-hmm.
You're when I had to support my system with a lot of these nutrients because when you get any type of virus or bacteria or fungal infection, your immune system goes up.
Yeah.
That's the way that your body works. Your immune
Mm-hmm.
system starts working extra hard, so you actually use X more nutrients when that happens.
Yeah.
That's why we take an extra vitamin, whatever. Like me personally, I take extra vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, etc., etc., etc. Ang dami.
Mm-hmm.
Just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that my body can handle all of the inflammation that is going on so that I don't
Mm.
go into a cytokine storm. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it. That's the thing. Now, when it comes to the gut, how is it connected? Think of your gut as okay, your gut has like a bunch, okay, not just a bunch, like billions of bacteria.
Yeah.
Okay. So that bacteria, you accumulated it over time. From the time that you were born, or even when you were still in the womb, kung ano yung bacteria or microbiome of your mom, you're gonna inherit it. Okay, so you
Ah,
get
okay.
yeah, you find it because you're in one system.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
when you
That makes
pass,
sense.
for example, you are, diba? So when you are born normally, so you go through the vaginal canal, which also has its own microbiome, you get
Mm.
that as well. And then when you do the unang yakap, you get your baby and you put them on your skin. Your skin has its own microbiome. The baby gets that as well. Okay, so
Mm.
if you and then when you start rolling on the ground and expose yourself to the world, you
Yeah.
get those bacteria in the world as well. Now,
Mm.
why is it very important for to have a diverse microbiome? So this microbiome, it basically like primes. It kind of primes your immune system so that whenever you get these types of, let's say, bacteria or whatever kind, your immune system parang na prime na siya. Ah, okay. Na ano ko na siya. Alam ko tong bacteria na to. Um I won't like create a havoc because
Mm.
it's there.
Yeah.
Ganun siya.
Uh-uh.
It's like a primer for your body. Now, I know a lot of people who actually have like a lot of allergies. Now, when we go into the history, I always ask, were you a very clean
Mhm.
kid? Like, bawal mag-playground, bawal
Oo.
lumabas, or were you
Bawal
born
bawal
cesarean?
maputikan.
Kapatikan, or were you breastfed as a child?
Mm.
Usually, no yung sagot. Hindi ako, usually,
Ah.
sasabihin, malinis ako masyado, alcohol lahat, bawal lumabas,
Mm.
mga ganyan. So, it means that they weren't exposed. Their microbiome is not as diverse as compared to other people who have like a more robust immune system. So,
Mm.
yun. So kaya konting flu lang, konting something, konting madapuan ng konting virus,
Yeah.
boom, hospital levels, mga ganon.
Yeah.
So, yun, that's the role of the gut. It primes your immune system. And there's
Mhm.
also a connection with a lot of like nitty-gritty details na nagko-connect
The
with the immune system,
the other systems as well. Yeah.
which 1 hour cannot cover. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so basically that's the
Exactly.
basic.
And but I think but I remember when I was telling you about my concern, you also told me like go to Central, go get an IV drip in order to kind of help boost my immune system. And for somebody like me who doesn't like taking popping pills and supplements,
Mhm.
that was like the
Yeah.
easiest route for me to get
Yeah.
all of my nutrients in one go.
Mhm.
There
Yeah.
we go. Okay, we have a couple more questions. So Ariel is asking about what can you say about intermittent fasting? Um,
Mhm.
and he's done his research, but he'd like to hear more about it from you. Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Okay.
I used to be an IF as well. That worked for me.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
I'm on perpetual IF because I don't eat breakfast. Okay, that's just how I am ever since. Kasi I think I don't wake up early enough to eat breakfast when I was a kid, and then nasanay na lang yung katawan ko. So I like if it works for you, good. Okay, intermittent fasting basically is you only give yourself a window of the
mm,
ng time kung ano oras ka kakain. So for those who are trying to lose weight, it's good to do. But ang and also there are studies that show that intermittent fasting can stimulate stem cell production.
mm,
Um, it actually ang thing ko lang with intermittent fasting is people tend to think na okay, two things. Yung isa is they don't get enough calories within the window period.
mm,
So you have to make sure na the breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you're supposed to have. So let's say you need 1,800 calories in a day. You have to eat those in the 8 hour period. Or else your immune system, sorry, not immune system, your metabolism will adapt to yung masyadong mababa na calories. Babagal yung metabolism mo. And if
mm,
initially you will lose weight. But if you don't do like enough activities, you will magpa-plateau ka and you will not be able to sustain that. So your basal metabolic rate will go lower. So you
yeah,
have to make sure that you still eat your calories within that window period. And my other issue is people tend to think na when you're on intermittent fasting, you can eat anything you want within the window period.
yeah.
Like buffet style, whatever. Hindi po ganon. You
Mm,
still have to have a well-balanced diet with majority of the food that you're eating are fruits and or veg basically.
mm,
So yeah, so you're just helping your body rest a bit with the intermittent. That's why I personally like doing intermittent fasting. It's become part of my lifestyle. It's really
mm,
because I napapapahinga ko yung system ko or my gastrointestinal system gets to rest for 16, tama ba? Tama ba math ko? 16 hours.
yeah.
And then I eat. But that's me. It's working for me. I know a lot of people that intermittent fasting doesn't work for them. So regular
Mm,
eating schedule is totally fine as long as
yeah.
you do what works for you.
And also consult a medical practitioner before doing that, because I feel that a lot of us we like to bandwagon eh, 'di ba? Parang oh, gumana yung diet na ganito for this person.
Ano yung
Ako
keto,
din.
ganyan.
That's
Yeah.
why, like I was telling you before, I had an issue with with keto, because when I started doing my research, there were all these keto groups and people were advising each other. But then I'm like, nobody is a professional. Like, if this was just based on your own experience. So really, before you do anything, please consult a medical practitioner. We have another question from Luan. She says, can you tell us more about what to expect on the first visit in terms of tests? And for somebody with constipation issues, how long will that treatment take?
Okay, okay, let's go through the constipation first. The constipation will really depend on what's causing your constipation.
Mm,
Si Luan pala to. Hi, Luan. Okay. Your constipation, it really depends talaga on what's causing it. So is it
mm,
diet? If it's because you're not eating the right type of food, or there are actually certain things that can cause constipation. So we have to look at that. And then is it because your microbiome is not good, or it's you have some type of overgrowth, or you're kulang with certain types of bacteria? So we have to look at that as well. So we have to supplement. Now at the same time, if you want to relieve your constipation right away, so of course we can do the colon cleanse for that. The whole treatment, the whole program will really depend on how bad it is. But we've seen a lot of patients that within the span of like 6 to 8 weeks, we're able to make them poop regularly na.
mm,
So it really depends on how dedicated you are to that program. For example, you follow everything to a T, yeah, we've seen a lot of success within like 6 to 8 weeks. They're pooping regularly. It hasn't gone back. Like their issues doesn't, or pag parang alam na nila na may trigger sila. If they eat certain things, they will get constipated. So
mm,
we're able to somehow manage that already. Now, in terms of
mm,
the first visit in the clinic, we don't really require any tests. to be done beforehand, because sometimes like the doctors, we have like ako, I have like a list of things that I like to see, but it also, I can tweak it depending on the condition of the patient. So we usually do like just a consultation first, and then if there are tests that we want to check, that's when we prescribe during the consult. And then usually we just do a
Yeah.
follow-up consult to check like the labs and everything. The
Mhm.
consult kasi, we always tell patients that we to monitor you properly, you really have to do a follow-up with us, because we don't know if what we actually prescribed is working for you, because it's just
Yeah.
like regular medications. Not all medications is healing to your body. So
Mhm.
like with us, we want to make sure that you're actually responding well, or you're actually doing the program as prescribed. We do follow-up consultations after that.
Yeah. And it's interesting for me, like the first thing that you guys tweak talaga is the diet. It really is the diet. Um
Yeah, of course.
and like I've been like we like you've been my doctor for a while, but it took me over a year for me to commit to doing an elimination diet. And this is
Oo, ang tagal.
voluntary.
Ang tagal.
Pero like it took me that long to realize that parang I need it. Pero like I've also had a couple of friends who have gone through an elimination diet, and they say like that was like one of the first things that their functional medicine doctor asked them to do. Could you just kind of explain that for us, just so we have, because a lot of people, like, they message me, they're like, why are you torturing yourself, like ano yung sakit mo, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. this is this is just what I'm going through for my body.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
could you please just explain that a little bit?
Okay, so the elimination diet. So it's a special diet. Sorry, my kid is here. Okay,
Oh,
so the elimination diet. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Okay,
hi,
elimination.
Rocky.
So it's Luis.
Hi,
Hi.
Louise. Hello.
Oh my God, he has poop. Wait, he has to poop. There. Sorry. Go there to go to Yaya. Okay, sorry. The elimination diet is it's specially designed to it. Okay, it basically removes the top things that can cause inflammation in the body.
Mm,
So it's like parang ano na siya, tinanggal mo lahat ng mga pwede, ng mga possible. So
mm,
this is based on studies that these are the most common food items that causes a lot of inflammation in the body, that our people are actually intolerant to. So we remove that. So we
mm.
usually advise this if the patient is reacting every time they eat something and we don't know it, because of course when you eat like an ulam naman, it has a lot of different things already, diba?
Yeah.
So when we do the elimination, so it's like a gluten-free wheat, gluten-free, soy-free, something diet. Okay, a lot
Mm,
of things. Sorry, wait lang, ang ingay ng anak ko. Okay. And then yung when we do that, we do that for at least 21 days, because it usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks for the inflammation to go down. And then we start
ah.
Kaya siya 21 days, because it takes a
Mm,
while talaga for your body to lessen the inflammation, kasi of course it takes a while for your gut to clear out and everything.
mm,
And then once you go through the 21 days, sometimes 30 days, it depends on how toxic you are, we start reintroducing certain food items that are yung mga least likely to cause inflammation, and then we
mm,
check if you start developing symptoms like
mm.
within the next 3 days. So we do this every 3 to 5 days. We reintroduce a food item. So it's
Got it.
there that you'll be able to check if you are intolerant. Because if you develop any symptom, let's say with egg, you start getting itchy again, or you start getting teary eyes with egg, and then you're
Mm,
intolerant to that. So we have to really remove the diet
got it.
completely for at least months, a few
Yeah.
months, and then we heal the gut. Give you some. We create a program to help heal the gut. So number one is removal of the things that's causing you to be inflamed in the first place, and then we can after that we try to reintroduce it again after a few months. If you're no
Mm,
longer reacting to it, it's okay. You can start taking it, but not on a daily basis. because there's a
Mhm.
reason why you became intolerant to it in the first place. So yeah, a wide variety of food items is very important in the diet. Para hindi yung paulit-ulit, isa lang yung kinakain mo araw-araw. Because
Correct.
that's when you become
Hummus.
intolerant to certain food items. Hummus,
Yeah.
steak, whatever, di ba? Rice. Magugulat ka, dami intolerant to rice. Kasi di ba,
Oh
kanin
yes.
ang Pilipino eh.
Correct. That's so that for me for me like that journey is super interesting because it really is if one of my biggest aha moments talaga learning and going through the 8 weeks that we've been talking about this for wellness weekends is you know
Yeah.
the doctors can just tell you what you're supposed to do, but it really is a partnership. They can only meet you
Yeah.
as far as you're willing to go. So for like
Willing
me,
to go. Yes.
oh, so for like me, it took me like a year before I said, "Sige, doc, I'm ready to do like the elimination diet." So like for most of the pandemic, I was highly stressed. Nagkakasakit ako. Di ko alam kung ano nangyayari sa akin. And and all it took lang pala was for me to go on this elimination diet to feel better about
Yeah.
myself, for stuff to
Mhm.
reset. And now that I'm feeling the benefits, I'm better educated now in terms of what is going on with my body. And I think, I forgot if it was Doc Sasa or Doc Carolyn that said this, but I think it was Doc Ven, when she said that, like my symptoms, like my headache, and the reason behind that is different from your headache. And, the reason behind that. So there really is not a one size fits all in terms of functional medicine, and I think that is
Mhm.
that is so revolutionary in my head, because we kind of think na, like for example, oh, this is I'm prone to, for example lang, I'm prone to diabetes, my brother is probably prone to diabetes, but what triggers me
Mhm.
pala won't be exactly what triggers him.
Triggers
um
to other people. Yes.
yeah, but and that is just a huge aha moment in terms of healing, because we usually think na, what works for me will work for you also, so do this na lang,
Yes.
instead.
Yeah.
So really
Same.
go
Yeah.
right in terms of
Same with ano.
family. Mm,
Yeah, I wanna just relate it also, since because I think within our next episodes we're gonna start talking about this.
mm,
When I started studying functional medicine, I started to realize that it's very much connected to traditional Chinese medicine. Because in traditional
mm,
Chinese medicine, you can have one symptom but a whole different diagnosis from one person. Like sorry, nahinig niyo ba yung anak ko? Ngayon,
yes,
naglalaro kasi.
yeah.
So, like for example, for hypertension, it can be liver yang rising for one person, but it can be like a lot of dampness and phlegm for another person. So
Mm,
it's really depends on your exposure. No one a symptom can be a manifestation of a lot of different disorders or dysfunctions in the body. So like
mm,
ako person, like when I get a headache, I know like after a golf game, I know that I'm nutritionally deficient because
mm.
naubos lahat sa lahat ng kakalaro. At the end of the day, I get a headache, so I know what's going on. But it can be totally different to why another person is getting a headache at that certain time. So
Got
yeah, so
it.
those are so yeah, so the systems, so that your system, your environment, your systems, your biochemical processes can be functioning differently as compared to one person. So those are the things that we have to go through when you go to a consult with us.
Fantastic. So thank you, Doc Candy, for walking us through and just tying everything together in terms of how the different systems really connect and how that connects to functional medicine. I think my greatest learning about my journey is really learning more about my body and stuff that it can do. Parang I think as I get
Mhm.
older, like I attribute it to signs of aging, that I can't do this anymore, or I can't do this as well as I could anymore. But it turns out that I can. It's just that I wasn't educated enough in terms of what was going on in my body.
Mhm.
In order for to do those yoga poses again, for example. So yeah, thank you so much, Doc Candy, for sharing your wealth
Thank
of experience
you.
information with us. Please tune back again next Sunday, guys, where we talk about traditional Chinese medicine and how we use that as clinic as well. So, Doc Candy, for those who are listening that want to, contact you for a consult, where and when can they find you?
Okay, I'm in our Alabang branch every Thursday, and in our the Grove branch around after lunch 1 p.m. onwards every Friday. And then Quezon City, I'm there by appointment on Mondays. So you have to book like at least 3 days before if you want to see me in Quezon City on a Monday. I'm there in the afternoons as well. And just I'm available also, like all of our doctors are available for telemedicine consultations. So we're gonna set up a new system for that. So just watch out for it.
Exciting stuff. So yeah, that's it for us for this Sunday. Thank you for joining us for Wellness Weekends, and we will see you again next week. In the
See
meantime,
you
bye. Bye, Louise. Bye,
Bye.
Doc.
Bye.
Bye.